Hey everyone, today's video is about Flat Earth Aussie Jesus and his idea how the sun sets on a flat earth. It's basically a part 2 of my very first video about Flat Earth where I showed on a kid's pool why it's impossible. I had a short conversation with Flat Earth Aussie Jesus about sunsets and the vanishing point a while ago, which led me to do this video. He presented me these pictures as explanation on how it works. It doesn't make the slightest sense. Let's first listen to what his idea of the sun is. For that we hear what he had to say in his conversation on Red's Rhetoric channel a few days ago.
Would you like to give me 2 seconds to explain it?
Oh, please
The
do. I'm gonna
sun-
go ahead and pull up the video right fucking now so you can
The
see.
sun
Please do,
that
Reds.
we see is not the sun.
Oh,
What
of course
we
it's not.
see
My God.
is the apparition of the sun through the atmosphere. The atmosphere is local to every viewer. The real sun can be way, way higher than what we actually see. But as soon as we see it through the illuminated noble gases of the atmosphere, that is the apparition of the sun that
Noble
we
gases.
see. That is the apparition that we see. So a person on the 1,000 kilometers away is going to see a completely different apparition in a completely different
So basically,
place.
what
And you
you're
cannot
saying?
triangulate it and say it's the same sun. You're looking
So
at a
what
completely
what-
different apparition. Shut up and let me fucking speak for
No,
once.
no, all right, no. So what I
Buddy.
can tell you why, because you can see where the sun is, and you can see where the sun is based on your latitude around the planet, and you can see, where
You can
in
see
the
the
sky is based on
apparition of
that.
the sun.
No,
You fucking listen for once.
yeah,
It's the
you don't
apparition.
know
It is not
fucking
the
where it is.
sun.
You think the sun's an interdimensional portal, so you shut up and listen. All right?
Interdimensional portal is well above the atmosphere.
Yeah,
You
the
dumb fuck.
interdimensional portal. All
Well
right,
above.
there's an
What we see
interdimensional. Right, Flat Earth Jesus. I'm
the
gonna just let everyone
apparition
hear
of
how
it.
fucking stupid you are.
Hang on. Shut everyone shut the fuck up, okay?
Is the
Nothing
lower it
about the
appears.
height of an object. The law of perspective has nothing to do with the height of the object. I have schooled your
It has
sorry
everything
ass
to
into-
do with it, Reds.
No, it
Everything to do with
doesn't.
it.
No, it doesn't. Alpha equals 2 times the arctan of G over 2R. Please tell me what variable in that equation
Dude.
is height.
Look into the corner of your room. Do you see the ceiling that is parallel appear to be going down, and the floor that is also parallel appear to be going up? That is perspective.
No,
Right, but
actually,
that doesn't lower anything.
it doesn't lower
does.
anything. No, it fucking
The
doesn't.
higher the ceiling is, the more steep the angle will appear.
Okay, so now
But
you're
guess
going with
what?
geometry.
Guess
No,
what?
no, no.
Guess
Security
what? The
point
height,
at a
but guess
certain
what? My
point,
ceiling
that
will
obscures it.
never intersect the floor, which is what you're claiming perspective does. You
I
dumb.
didn't say it intersects it. I said it obscures it
No, it doesn't obscure
because of
shit.
viewing height.
No, it will never obscure it. Let me repeat that. It will
Always
never,
does.
It will never obscure it. It will
Okay, then
never
what is
obscure it.
That's a new level of crazy. First I show you how the sun would change in angular size when it moves away over a flat earth, and then I show you why sunsets are impossible. For this I will ignore Flat Earth Aussie Jesus' claims about the sun being a portal to whatever with different apparitions for everyone, since he's not able to point to even one observation or evidence that would back his story up. Here we have my pictures. I made them from hand because you don't need a computer or math to test this. I just use paper, a pencil and crayons to make it more colorful. At first we talk about the sun's angular size. An object's angular size is the angle between the lines of sight to its two opposite edges. The line of sights are in this case green. As the sun floats away above the flat earth, it would decrease in angular size the further it moves away from the observer, mini-me. You can see how the angle gets smaller and smaller, means the sun would shrink from this point of view. We don't observe that, therefore the sun is not close to Earth. Now we come to Flat Earth Aussie Jesus' claim that the sun would be hidden by the horizon due to distance. That is of course bullshit. As you can see here, the sun can move as far away as it wants. It will never look like it goes below the horizon. As you can see on the line of sight to the bottom of the sun, the water surface and the sun's path are parallel lines that never actually cross. So the sun would never set on a flat earth. I could end my video right here. The case is closed, right? Well, almost. When I first heard about Flat Earth Aussie Jesus, I just wanted to mock him in a video. But after examining his channel, I'm not sure if I should make fun of him or feel sorry. He definitely has an alcohol and drug problem, even if he doesn't want to admit it. He visibly deteriorated so much in the past 3 to 4 years it's frightening to see. This was him 4 years ago. That is he now. Alcohol and drugs took a big toll on him, physically and mentally. He is homebrewing his own beer and seems to consume it daily. If you put then cannabis and other psychoactive substances like LSD into the mix, which he admits to use and is very vocal about on his channel, you get one sad, deluded guy.
Yes, I ran into this bloke yesterday down at the bowling club after playing bowls, and because I was kind enough to give him a sample of my home brew when we bumped into each other the first time, he was kind enough to give me a sample of his, what they call LSD.
I ended up finding this tiny little piece of cardboard I had sitting in a plastic bag up in one of my drawers, and so it'll probably take a good half hour before it sets in. G'day, hippie. Haven't got any peepers on at the moment, so I'm going to have to squint a little bit. In fact, I might have to move the seat just a wee little touch closer. Why not? I won't have to squint as much. It's Happy Mother's Day here in Australia. It's nearly, well, it probably is about 2 p.m. now. So it's as good a time as any to drink a bit of homemade stout, which I guess you might say in its own right is a type of drug, being made from naturally fermented sugars and all. And so I thought I'd like to talk about a few different things to do with drugs in particular. How, to me, most of the time, oh yeah, Happy Mother's Day if you are actually a mother. You do look feminine in that little avatar that's really tiny, hard to see. So good on you. So yeah, I did end up finding a little piece of cardboard which I believe has been dropped with this thing they call lyserg LSD. So we'll see what happens if that kicks in or not. But preemptive to that, I also found my cannabis tincture, where I take some very nice buds, soak them in vodka for a couple of weeks. The essence of the cannabis, like any medicinal herb, enters into the ethanol of the vodka. So that's how you extract the goodness of the medicine. So I took a sip of that just a few minutes ago, and then I found a jar sitting in the fridge where I collected some gold-topped mushrooms, which I find in the cow paddocks around here, and poured honey all over it. And some edibles are the way to go.
I said in my Flat Earth Sign of a Mental Disorder videos that Flat Earthers and mentally ill people act pretty much the same, and I see myself confirmed here in this case. Flat Earth Aussie Jesus has completely lost his grip on reality. He is simply delusional. He is someone who fell for that Flat Earth scam. I think he truly believes that the Earth is flat. That makes the whole situation more sad than funny. There is no way to argue with someone like him. Don't get me wrong, he is an adult and can choose whatever he wants to do, but it affects of course my opinion about him and his claims considerably. Drug and alcohol can have some serious consequences if they are consumed regularly over long periods of time. Let's take for example a short look at what effects long-term drug and alcohol abuse can have or maybe already has on him. I saw that he was often drunk in his videos, means it was more than just 1 or 2 drinks. So we should take a look at the effects heavy alcohol use can have on the brain. Essentially, alcohol is a toxin. Thus, its primary impact on the body, especially when consumed excessively, is harmful. When alcohol enters the body, it travels from the stomach and intestines through the bloodstream to various organs. In the liver, spikes in blood alcohol content caused by heavy drinking overload its ability to process alcohol. So excess alcohol journeys from the liver to other parts of the body, like the heart and central nervous system. Subsequently, alcohol moves through the blood-brain barrier, affecting the brain's neurons directly. There are over 100 billion interconnected neurons in the brain and central nervous system. As a toxic substance, drinking alcohol can damage or even kill neurons. Research shows that sustained periods of drinking lead to overall shrinkage of the brain. Heavy drinking can lead to long-term brain damage. So prolonged and excessive alcohol use can interfere with how the brain functions as well as how it's structured. That alone can cause some mental problems. Now let's talk about the cannabis consume. While occasional use of cannabis has not much effect on your cognitive abilities, long-term use can have a negative effect. Cannabis contains THC, whose chemical structure is similar to the brain chemical anandamide. Because of this similarity, THC is able to attach to the molecules called cannabinoid receptors on neurons in brain areas and activate them, disrupting various mental and physical functions. It affects brain areas that influence pleasure, memory, thinking, concentration, movement, coordination, and sensory and time perception. As a result, using cannabis causes impaired thinking and interferes interferes with a person's ability to learn and perform complicated tasks. I found a study about the effects of long-term cannabis use and memory and attention. I have linked the full report in the description in case someone wants to look deeper into it. Here's the conclusion. The result confirms that long-term heavy cannabis users show impairments in memory and attention that endure beyond the period of intoxication and worsen with increasing years of regular cannabis use. Now we come to the long-term effects of LSD on the brain. LSD, also known as acid, is a hallucinogenic drug. Effects typically include altered thoughts, feelings, and awareness of one's surroundings. Many users see or hear things that don't exist. The exact effect of LSD on the brain remains unknown, but the drug is believed to affect your brain's response to serotonin, a neurotransmitter that involves your emotions, moods, and perceptions. Some users report having mind-expanding mystical experiences while they are under the influence of LSD. While immediate LSD use causes a variety of disorienting, distorted, and emotional effects, there are also some potential troublesome long-term effects. For example, recurrent hallucinations, even after you stop taking the drug, or persistent psychosis. Persistent psychosis is defined as a condition of dissociation from the real world. It's characterized by hallucinations or perceiving things that aren't actually there, and delusions means false beliefs. Those with a history of long-term LSD use may experience psychotic episodes similar to people who suffer from schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, borderline personality disorder, and other serious mental conditions. Even after quitting LSD, the drug-induced psychosis that may continue to persist can include radically disorganized thought patterns, distortions of perceived reality, or dramatic mood swings. Not everyone who uses hallucinogenic drugs experiences persistent psychosis, but it appears to still be a risk for some. I think we get a clue where Flat Earth, Aussie Jesus weird delusions come from, right? Using one of these substances over a long time could cause problems, but it gets worse when you combine all of them. It seems that Flat Earth, Aussie Jesus is lost in his delusions, and I don't know if he will ever realize it or recover from this, but I wish him the very best. Finally, I can say sunsets are impossible on a flat Earth, and don't do drugs, kids. That's it for now. I hope everyone has a nice day. Thanks for watching, bye bye, and stay tuned.